Have you ever felt completely exhausted just sitting on your own couch? Well, the culprit might not actually be your packed schedule. It might be the invisible architecture of your environment. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking what is usually dismissed as just a mundane weekend chore and reframing it into an elite masterclass on spatial reclamation and cognitive endurance. We're going to dive deep into the science of how optimizing your physical space directly optimizes your brain health, your sleep quality, and your long-term resilience.
So let's start here. Why exactly does a disorganized room make you feel so physically and mentally drained? It really comes down to the metabolic cost of your environment. Every single object in your physical space acts as a constant stream of visual stimuli, literally draining your brain's bandwidth. When a room is cluttered, all those objects are constantly competing for neural representation in your brain. Essentially, each item is sending a quiet, subconscious signal to you: clean me, move me, or make a decision about me. This constant, invisible filtering process taxes your executive function and depletes your metabolic energy. It leaves you totally exhausted before you even attempt to do any deep work.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll cover 1. The psychology of clutter, 2. Emotional fatigue and guilt, 3. The container concept, 4. Microspace interventions, 5. Sustainable waste diversion, and 6. Habits for mental clarity.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the psychology of clutter and understanding environmental stress.
Get this. 55% of Americans experience significant daily stress specifically due to household clutter. In fact, a landmark UCLA study found that people, particularly women, who described their homes as cluttered had chronically higher levels of cortisol. That's the body's primary stress hormone. And look, elevated cortisol isn't just a passing feeling of being anxious. It's a physiological crisis. Over time, chronic cortisol exposure degrades your working memory, disrupts your circadian rhythms, and actually accelerates biological aging. The Sleep Foundation even reports that a cluttered bedroom directly degrades your sleep architecture, which then ruins your cognitive performance the very next day. Everything is interconnected here. This brings us to a fascinating psychological principle called the Zeigarnik effect. Basically, the human brain intensely dislikes unfinished business. Every unorganized object, every stack of mail, or pile of laundry you walk past represents an incomplete choice. This creates a constant background hum of anxiety. It keeps your nervous system locked in a state of sympathetic arousal, meaning fight or flight. Your brain literally perceives your environment as a series of unresolved threats to your attention, completely preventing the deep rest you need for cellular recovery.
Moving right along to Section 2, emotional fatigue and guilt, or the weight of our possessions.
You see, decluttering isn't just physical labor, it's intense psychological work. We have these emotional blockers that act as cognitive biases, effectively holding our mental health hostage. Our homes often turn into museums of our outgrown identities. Just think about the unworn professional clothes from a past career, or those unread cookbooks that represent an idealized version of yourself. Letting those things go triggers intense, albeit completely misplaced, guilt thanks to the sunk cost fallacy. We also face immense sentimental pressure, especially with family heirlooms. We falsely believe that discarding the physical item somehow means rejecting the memory or the person who gave it to us.
The crucial takeaway for this is summarized beautifully by organization expert Dilly Carter. She says, "Box the emotion, not the chaos." We absolutely have to intentionally separate the physical object from the memory it represents. You can preserve a memory digitally by, say, taking a photo of your child's artwork, or you can keep just one single representative item, like keeping one single teacup from your grandmother's massive 12-piece set. Remember, the memory lives in you, not in the porcelain. This leads us right into Section 3, the container concept. This is a total paradigm shift. Traditional decluttering usually asks you to hold an item and make an emotional judgment. Do I love this? Am I ever going to need this? But that fundamentally misunderstands human biology, because human decision-making is a finite daily resource. Relying on emotion rapidly exhausts your brain's decision-making reserves. Enter Dana K. White's container concept. This completely removes the emotion from the equation. It relies entirely on the physical limits of your reality, the actual dimensions of a drawer, a shelf, or your house. The space itself dictates what you can keep. So, when a space is full, you don't have to reject an item emotionally. You simply blame the container's finite capacity. Let's say your drawer can only hold 10 t-shirts. If you buy an 11th, you don't have to agonize over whether the new shirt is worthy. The container is full. That forces a strict one-in, one-out rule. This represents a profound psychological relief. You are bypassing the emotional centers of your brain entirely and relying on cold, physical reality, which dramatically reduces your cognitive overload.
All right, let's look at Section 4, Microspace Interventions. Let's get tactical here.
We can systematically match specific psychological strategies to specific spaces in your home. The 4-box method is your standard operating procedure for something like a home office, strictly categorizing items to improve your daily focus. Then there's the didn't know method, which is perfect for the deep dark back of a closet. If you didn't even know you owned it, it's an immediate donation. And the 20-20 rule? That is an absolute game changer for that just-in-case hoarding mentality. If you can replace an item for under $20 in under 20 minutes, like that dried-out nail polish in a bathroom cabinet, you let it go. It permanently removes the anxiety of some hypothetical future need.
Next up is the no-mess method. This is a brilliant ADHD-friendly approach that fundamentally protects your executive function. Traditional advice usually tells you to empty your whole closet onto your bed, right? But if you get distracted or fatigued halfway through, you're left with a catastrophic mess that heavily spikes your cortisol. The no-mess method completely outlaws temporary piles. You pick an item up, you ask where you'd look for it first, and you take it there immediately. So even if you quit after just 5 minutes, your space is actually cleaner than when you started.
To really build momentum, we look to Fly Lady's micro-habits. Things like setting a timer for a 5-minute room rescue, or racing around the house to find exactly 27 items to throw away or donate in what she calls the 27 fling boogie. Now, why does this work neurobiologically? Because speed short-circuits the brain's tendency to overanalyze. It literally bypasses the emotional resistance in your prefrontal cortex and initiates immediate, dopamine-driven momentum.
Moving on to Section 5, Sustainable Waste Diversion. And finally, releasing the guilt.
120 billion. That is a staggering environmental reality. 120 billion beauty and wellness packages are produced every single year. We're talking mascara tubes, makeup compacts, lotion pumps. And the issue is, most of these mixed materials and small plastics cannot be processed by your standard curbside recycling. Just knowing this paralyzes us. Environmental guilt becomes a severe cognitive bottleneck, resulting in a horde of empty bottles taking up space in our bathroom cabinets.
But thankfully, we now have systemic solutions to give the brain chemical permission to finally release these physical items. Programs organized by the Pact Collective in partnership with massive retailers like Sephora and Nordstrom allow us to responsibly dispose of these hard-to-recycle items. You just clean the empty container and drop it in their collection bins. From there, the materials are mechanically or molecularly recycled into things like asphalt, pallets, or new packaging. Utilizing these systems dramatically alleviates our environmental guilt, which directly drops our cortisol response.
Finally, we reach Section 6, Habits for Mental Clarity. This is all about maintenance.
Look, decluttering is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice. It's exactly like physical fitness. You wouldn't go to the gym once and expect to stay fit forever, right? You need consistent maintenance. Implement a simple 5-minute daily reset before bed. This restores visual quiet in your space, effectively down-regulating your nervous system before sleep to ensure proper circadian biology. Practice one-touch handling, meaning put it away, not just down. And definitely apply these rules to your digital life as well, organizing your files to prevent daily digital decision fatigue.
This is such a profound realization. Clearing physical items is a literal form of emotional release. Think of your physical environment as an external hard drive for your brain. By clearing out the artifacts of your past identities and old obligations, you are literally freeing up RAM in your brain for deep work, emotional resilience, and the things that truly matter to you today.
So, the next time you find yourself hesitating over an object, I want you to replace self-judgment with curiosity. This is a proven behavioral psychology intervention that drastically lowers emotional resistance. Just ask yourself, if I actually needed this tomorrow, could I easily borrow or replace it? If the answer is yes, just let it go. Breaking this cycle of decision fatigue is absolutely essential for preserving your mental energy for the complex tasks that actually matter.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Your environment is never neutral. It is actively modulating your nervous system every single second of the day. So look around you right now. Ask yourself, is your space draining your energy, keeping your cortisol high and your focus fragmented? Or is it a restorative sanctuary helping your brain and body heal? The choice and the container is entirely yours.